the level of questions is like if you see like gate examination, 1 mark question. So that was the level of those questions.
Mm-hmm.
And in the software domain, we have like and yeah, in the digital domain, they have some very log questions as well.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
to
Mm-hmm.
test the knowledge about coding.
Mm.
And for the software roles, software and firmware roles, we have like C++ MCQs.
Okay.
In that, we need to determine the output of the given code, like
Mm.
how it is working, if there is some bug or not. So
Yeah.
those kind of questions were there. And other questions on technical side is like digital communication.
Hey guys, welcome back to Career Cushion. Our guest for today is Nikhil. Thanks, Nikhil, for joining us today. So,
Yeah, hi Pranati.
hi, Nikhil. So, Nikhil has done his MTech from IIT Madras and joined Qualcomm. He has been working in the firmware domain from the past 2.5 years.
Oh,
So,
just one correction. Actually,
yeah.
like firmware and software both. Actually, I started with firmware, then I
Mm-hmm.
moved into like software,
Okay.
embedded software only. But yeah, but I work very closely with firmware team.
So, why don't you give us clarity about like what is the difference between firmware, software, and
Yeah.
embedded system
Yeah,
engineer?
so like as per my knowledge, basically there is very minute difference between firmware and embedded software.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, both are like used interchangeably in the industry. They are
Okay.
like a technical jargons, like
Mm-hmm.
firmware and embedded software. So, from my understanding, what firmware is like, firmware is a piece of code that is written between a hardware and operating system. So
Mm-hmm.
like operating system instructs give instructions which is mapped to hardware with the
Mm-hmm.
help of the code which is running in the firmware. So
Okay.
like firmware is like a map between operating system and the hardware, because firmware has knowledge about the memory addresses of the hardware. So
Oh.
yeah, that's the firmware. And I think embedded systems also have the same kind of thing. If you have seen like example of like say Xerox machine,
Yeah.
so so in that uh, I think it has both firmware and embedded software running.
Mm-hmm.
So like for OS give instructions to the Xerox machine, so it will process those instructions. Like it maps the OS
Mm-hmm.
instructions to Xerox machine. And like embedded software, if you see, like there are various functionalities in that printer. Okay, so
Yeah.
for running those functionalities, a piece of code is running as well. So like it is more functionality specific embedded software, and the firmware is like general purpose for like mapping operating system to the hardware. So yeah, that's the
Oh, is
so
it?
yeah, from my perspective, it's look like that. But yeah, actually, if you go through internet, you won't find such kind of definitions, because it's like very similar. Because
Yeah, got
in
it.
yeah, in firmware also, in firmware and embedded software, you work with like C language as well as with assembly language. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
both are C plus.
So those three are like interchangeable terms.
Yeah, yeah, and software is like pure coding, like DSA, those kind of
Okay.
things. You don't need to have like hardware knowledge and everything. But in like firmware and the other embedded system, you need to have knowledge of both coding
Mm-hmm.
as well as the subjects,
Got
uh,
it. Mm-hmm.
microcontroller, microprocessor. So yeah, everything you need to know.
Yeah, got it, got it. So, can you give us an idea about like what kind of work you do in your day-to-day work with some simple example?
Basically, like I work in modem
Mm-hmm.
modem team. So
Okay.
basically, I work on wireless communication systems. So like first we need to develop like some kind of wireless channels. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
that sends data, wireless data to the hardware. So that's my brief work. Actually, I can't explain all the things
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah. Got it.
it's
Yes.
industry oriented. So
Yeah.
yeah, so and basically my most of the time goes in designing of wireless channels and
Mm-hmm.
implementing them using in C++. So basically I used modern C++ 20 actually.
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
yeah, so I use that.
Sounds
uh,
interesting.
yeah, but like 5G modems I used to work.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
so you're working on the new technology, like which people
Yeah.
are so much interested and waiting so much. Like
Yeah.
everyone are waiting for the 5G.
Yeah, actually it's rolled over. Yeah, so in some of the states, like 5G phones is also available,
Yeah.
like you
Yes.
see
Yes. Yes.
iPhones and everything.
Mm.
So like iPhone uses our Qualcomm uh, hardware. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, what do you find the most challenging thing about your work?
Most challenging thing, firstly the learning point of view, because
Mm-hmm.
you have to read so many things and then implement it. So the only hardship I face is putting so much time. Actually,
Okay.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's the only hard thing. But yeah, overall, I enjoy working with Qualcomm.
Mm-hmm.
So because I have very good mentors here at Qualcomm.
Okay.
So my most of the whenever I get stuck, I approach my manager or lead,
Mm-hmm.
so he used to help me out in most of the things. So yeah, I enjoy working with Qualcomm, and not much hardship I face like in 2 years of working here at
Okay.
Qualcomm.
Great, great. Like you got good mentors.
Yeah, actually good mentors I got.
So, can you tell like what are the crucial skills for this role and what
Yeah,
are the
I can.
tools you use
Yeah,
and yeah.
yeah, I can give you the path, like how you can enter into this field.
Sure.
So yeah, so for entering into embedded software or any semiconductor industry,
Mm-hmm.
uh, first thing you require a good knowledge of at least moderate level knowledge of C++.
Okay.
Yeah, object oriented design in C++ and
Mm-hmm.
C programming, which is not that object oriented. So yeah, both, if you know both, that is well and good. But yeah, it is mandatory if you want to work as a embedded engineer or a software engineer in semiconductor industry.
Got it. Mm.
And the other thing is uh, I am from electronics background, so and I'm working in communication field, so it is mandatory for me to have a knowledge about digital signal processing, uh,
Yeah.
s- yeah,
Mm.
signals and systems, and the other thing is digital communication,
Mm-hmm. Mm.
and wireless communications.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
these subjects are mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
So for learning those things, you can go on, like for C++, best resources Udemy.
Okay.
There are very good instructors who taught like embedded C and other modern C++. So there you can learn that language part. And
Mm-hmm.
for learning the subjects DSP, you can follow uh, IIT Kharagpur's DSP lecture, Mrityunjay Chakrabarti, and
Okay.
yeah, and for wireless and digital communication, you need to follow Professor Aditya Jagannatham from IIT
Okay.
Kanpur. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so that's for the technical part.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, these for working with Qualcomm, you need to have this. And for like working with other semiconductor industry, C++ is mandatory.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And yeah, and digital signal processing.
Got
So
it. Got it.
and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and some knowledge about ARM architecture and the about like microcontroller and microprocessor. So 8051, 8085. So if you
Yeah.
have those knowledge, then
Hmm.
it will be easier actually.
Udemy course you are suggesting, do you have any specific tutor that you followed? Or
For C++ and data structure, I follow like Ankit Thakran.
okay.
Yeah, he
Okay.
works at Microsoft, so like he teaches very well C++. And for modern C++, like C++20, I have like Daniel Gakwaya.
Mm-hmm.
So Daniel Gakwaya course is very good actually. He has like 110 hours of modern C++.
Oh,
So
okay.
that if you go through that course, then I don't think you will find any difficulty in semiconductor industry, because he teaches uh, all the means whatever the new concepts that are coming in C++,
Hmm.
STL, containers, and smart pointers, and everything he taught very well. So I recommend that course. Yeah, that is very good. Daniel Gakwaya.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So, can you tell us how your interview went and what are the steps? What were the questions asked for you?
Yeah, so uh, uh, I didn't got a job from placements.
Mm-hmm.
I first interned with Qualcomm, because in IIT Madras, like we have internships as well for 3 months. Three
Okay.
month internship is there. So
Mm-hmm.
like various companies came. Actually, we are from electrical, so most of us are interested in semiconductor domain.
Yeah.
So like various companies came on day one, like of internship, like Intel, Samsung,
Mm-hmm.
Qualcomm.
Mm-hmm.
So like I got Intel and Qualcomm both, but
Uh-huh. Okay.
but I chose Qualcomm. But yeah, the process is like first step was like written test. So
Okay.
in the
Mm-hmm.
yeah, in written test, like there are two profiles. One is the hardware, and the other one is the firmware and software.
Okay.
So yeah, so for hardware, the major portion was like digital electronics, electronic devices, and network theory, electrical
Mm-hmm.
circuits, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and the analog electronics.
Okay.
So those were the part of the written test, and the level of questions is like if you see like gate examination, 1 mark question. So that
Mm.
was the level of those questions.
Mm-hmm.
And in the software domain, we have like uh, uh, and yeah, in the digital domain, they have some very log questions as well,
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
to
Mm-hmm.
test the knowledge about coding.
Mm.
And for the software roles, software and firmware roles, we have like C++ MCQs.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
In that, we need to determine the output of the given code, like
Mm.
how it is working, if there is some bug or not. So
Yeah.
those kind of questions were there. And other questions on technical side is like digital communication was there, and digital signal processing was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those two were there, and some analog communication questions were also there. So so these are the technical portions that covered the
Mm-hmm.
written test. And after the written test, like we have like around 3 rounds of interview.
Got it. Okay.
Although it was internship, but still they took like very heavily.
Yeah.
So for first round was pure technical for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm explaining about Qualcomm. So
Yeah.
uh, first was pure technical. So in that, they asked me like wireless communication and digital communication. So
Mm-hmm.
questions were like probability, basic probability questions, like binary symmetric channel and information theory related questions
Okay.
were there.
Mm-hmm.
So that was there. And other, like they asked me some derivations also,
Mm-hmm.
bit error rate or some other derivations. So that was the part of those questions for that interview round. And
Mm-hmm.
the second interview round was like digital signal processing. So he asked me like pole zero concept and other stuff. So yeah, that was good. And the last round was not that big. Actually, it just was like a complimentary coding round. So
Okay.
just
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he asked me like uh, 3 4 questions in that, and that too are very basic one. Just he asked me like some he gave me some keywords and asked me like what this keyword do, like if we have like delete keyword, so
Mm.
what it will do, like dangling pointers, so
Mm-hmm.
those kind of things, basic questions he asked. So I cleared both. I cleared all three. So that's the part of that. And Intel was mostly the CGPA based. So
Oh. Mm-hmm.
like they didn't ask very hard things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mostly they took guys who have good CGPA in the
Okay.
internship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have like 8.5 CGPA, then means it's 90% sure that you will get Intel.
Okay.
So
Okay. Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that's the whole process. Yeah, after that, we I did 3 month of internship in
Mm-hmm.
Hyderabad,
Mm-hmm.
and after that I received a pre-placement offer from Qualcomm. So I didn't sit for placements because I
Okay.
have like, a full 1 year to enjoy.
So, you got the same team which you did internship or
No, my team got changed.
okay.
Yeah, initially I was in modem firmware team in
Mm-hmm.
Qualcomm, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, uh, although they mail like you will be getting the same team, but once I entered here, I was into modem software,
Okay.
but there was not much difference because there also I was working in CC++, and here also I am working in CC++. And the good part was like from starting onwards, I was put into 5G.
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, latest one, latest technology. But because in some companies like uh, some startups are there, they usually put into like first into the lower teams like 3G, 4G, then move to 5G. But in
Oh,
Qualcomm, I was from starting onwards, I was in 5G.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. So, how can someone find opportunities and do you have any suggestions for Type 2, Type 3 college students?
So the first suggestion is obviously I would suggest like give GATE exam, get
Mm-hmm.
into some good IIT, NIT, or triple IT. From that place, you will get very good opportunities. You will get a set platform. Companies will come. You just give interview and you are through.
Mm.
But if you don't want to follow that path, like if you want to give GATE exam and then go to IIT and spend 2 years,
Mm.
then what you can do is like there are various coaching institutes are also available,
Mm-hmm.
uh, which teaches these kind of things. Like if you want to go into VLSI domain, like, then we have like Maven Silicon is there,
Mm-hmm.
and VLSI Guru is there.
Mm-hmm.
So these coaching teaches you like embedded systems as well as the VLSI part, verification, RTL design, and all those stuff. So if you want to um, don't don't want to go with MTech or MS path, then I would suggest to join some coaching. But the only drawback is that you cannot directly get into Qualcomm, Intel, Samsung, like big companies. You
Okay. Mm-hmm.
because opportunities from outside for tier two without experience is somewhat lesser.
Okay.
uh, yeah. So but after that, like what you can do is after that training is completed, just join some any company like HCL or
Mm.
TCS or Capgemini or
Yeah.
any other company which offers VLSI and
Mm.
this communication software profiles. Just join it, spend some like at least 1 year or 6 months, then apply to these big companies like Samsung, Qualcomm, Intel, and then your probability of getting selected will be much higher
Okay.
compared to fresher. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. So,
Just you have to spend like 6 months to 1 year.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Got it. Like develop skills and then
Yeah,
gain
because
experience.
actually for students from IITs and IITs, triple IITs, what these company look is like, they have some kind of credibility because of that college tag, although it
Yeah.
doesn't matter after entering into industry. But yeah, but it definitely plays a role at initial level,
Hmm.
because when you are just entering as a fresher, then you have to show something like you are good. So IIT, NIT, triple IT students, they have their college tag, so they can show that. So companies used to believe that, okay, this guy or this girl can do something when he comes. But
True.
for the people who are from like tier 2, tier 3 colleges, they don't have that advantage. So to make the companies realize that we are also good, then you have to at least spend some 6 months to 1 year in some company, and then you apply. You will
Hmm.
definitely get, probability of selection is very high then.
Got it. Got it. So, how has the learning curve for you from college to real time working in the industry?
uh, like college, working in college was like, studying in college was like fun. But
Hmm.
when it comes to industry, it is not like that, because you have to learn so many things actually. So and whatever you study in college, that never helps here.
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, because things are entirely different in practical and what you study in college. So yeah, learning curve is like pretty hectic actually. There are so many things
Okay.
we I
Hmm.
need to go through after coming here.
Got it. Got it. So, how are you managing your work-life balance?
So like uh, work-life balance wise, Qualcomm is good actually.
Mm-hmm.
I would not say best, but yeah, good. Work-life balance wise, because anyway, on like I have heard in some companies like people used to work on weekends also.
Okay.
uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, in Qualcomm, people are really nice. They don't force you to work on weekend until and unless some really bigger problem comes. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
Hmm.
they won't ask you to work on holidays and weekends. So and so for balancing work life, like I used to go to Cult Fit. So
Mm-hmm.
I've joined. I've taken its membership. So so I me and some of my friends, they we used to go daily to Cult Fit.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Got it. So, what will be the average salary for someone who just started, and how will be the growth?
Yeah, so that part I can explain.
Mm-hmm.
Like for a fresher, like from if you are from like tier 2, tier 3 college,
Mm-hmm.
so if you are just entering into the embedded software or firmware domain, so
Mm-hmm.
your salary will be somewhere around 5 lakhs.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but if you directly get opportunities at big companies like Samsung or Qualcomm or Intel or Apple or
Mm-hmm.
those kind of companies, you will easily able to get uh, like 15 to 30
Okay.
easily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
in
Got
these
it.
profiles, yeah,
Okay.
15 to 30 as a like a base salary, I can say.
Mm-hmm.
And other things are also
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Perks
So
you have.
yeah, stocks and other things are separate. So
Okay. Okay.
that's the
Nice. Nice.
I'm talking about the entry level positions after like 1 year of experience.
Mm.
If you join these big companies, then you will easily end up getting good package.
Got it. Got it. So,
And like yeah, and the other
mm,
part I forgot to explain, like
mm,
growth part. Like when you uh, start growing, so like in this domain, in VLSI or in the embedded system domain, you will your salary will also grow, not comparable to what like pure software engineers get, like if you have seen like Amazon or
yes,
other
yes.
things.
Fresher getting one
Yeah,
crore.
but yeah, but not very less.
Yeah.
So if you say like if some software engineer got 70 like 1 crore of package,
Mm,
then you will be at 70% of that. So
okay.
it means like in the long run,
Got
after
it. Got
like
it.
8 years or 10 years of experience
Hmm.
at that level, so like you will be around like 50, 60 or something.
Got it. Got it.
So that is also a good salary in India.
It sounds so motivating to get into VLSA field.
Yeah, and the other advantage of getting into the VLSI and embedded side is
Mm.
that you are not easily replaceable.
Okay. Okay.
So like in software field, what is happening is currently everyone is learning DSA. If you see, YouTube is full of DSA courses. So
Yes.
like even if you are from civil engineer, mechanical engineer, everyone is learning DSA. So
Yeah.
like in long run, what will be happening, like supply will be more and demand will be less,
Mm.
so your salary will automatically go down.
Got
And
it.
and uh, like a kid can replace a veteran in the software industry, means who has very good coding skill can replace a experienced
Mm.
engineer in software industry. But it is not with the hardware, because here you need knowledge about coding
Mm-hmm.
plus the subjects,
Mm-hmm.
uh, like the wireless communications, digital electronics, microcontroller, microprocessor. So it's hard to replace a engineer who is working in this field. So that's the advantage of hardware over the software.
So, do you think do non-CS or ECE students get into VLSA field?
Uh, I think it's hard for them
Mm-hmm.
because it's not straightforward to get into VLSI field, because as I mentioned, you need a good amount of knowledge about the subjects
Mm-hmm.
as well as the coding part. So getting into VLSI, it's not easy straightforward as just learning Java, C++, and DSA, and you get into
Okay.
software. But it's not a straightforward path for uh, hardware industry.
So, background of electronics is required.
Yeah, background of electronics as well as CS both are required.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, any advice do you have for fellow buddies and who are interested in the VLSA domain?
So, just a piece of advice, like it's a very good field, because currently, if you see, there are a lot of software engineers.
Yeah,
so,
true.
so you will get easily replaced there after 10 years. So,
Mm-hmm.
but in hardware, you won't be able to get replaced that easily, because a fresher is very inexperienced and he don't have knowledge about hardware, what is happening. So I would suggest to go and explore the VLSI field, because it has very good opportunities, because like semiconductor is everywhere.
Yeah,
Like
yes.
if you see the automobile, IoT application, everywhere semiconductor is there. So I would suggest to go and explore the VLSI domain compared to software.
Yeah, that's a great advice.
One
Yes, yes.
last thing, uh, means currently the industry is also evolving. Like we have like Google
Mm.
came into this embedded systems.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, So if you go and search on LinkedIn, or just Google it, like firmware engineer in Google, Apple is also there. So getting into these big tech uh, in embedded or VLSI domain is comparatively easy
Mm-hmm.
than going into the software field, because
Got it.
like in software you have like hardcore competition, but in VLSI you don't have that level of competition. So cracking those Google and Microsoft and Apple like companies is far more easier in VLSI compared to
Mm-hmm.
going into pure software domain.
Got it.
So so that's another motivation for getting into VLSI.
Yeah, yeah, true, true. So I have one more question for you. So, how is the software, pure software, different from software in the VLSI?
Like what like uh, in VLSI, like we write software dedicated for a particular hardware,
Mm-hmm.
and and other softwares like Microsoft Teams and like all the other software which are running in the laptops,
Mm-hmm.
uh, they they are general purpose, means you can use it everywhere. But yeah, so
Okay.
I think we write dedicated hardware related software as an embedded engineer.
Got it,
But
got it. Hmm.
yeah,
So you use C and C++ languages.
yeah, we use C plus stack. Yeah, and in entire semiconductor industry, this is mostly used. So if
Got it.
you check all the other companies' job description as well, C
Mm.
plus plus is mandatory
Okay.
in semiconductor field.
Mm-hmm. So do you use any specific tools?
No, not specific tools. Just normal like Git application. Git we
Mm-hmm.
use for
Okay.
pushing our code. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and like other general purpose tools like where C means a change request comes. So those kind of tools are normal. So we don't use much tools.
Got it.
Just Qualcomm specific tools we use, like for log analysis. They are
Mm-hmm.
like Qualcomm internal software, so we use
Okay.
that.
Okay. Okay. Got it. So I have a rapid fire for you. I'll tell
Yeah,
a
sure.
word and tell me whatever comes first to your mind.
Okay.
Electronics,
Qualcomm,
AI,
Google,
mm, semiconductors,
uh, TSMC,
IIT Madras,
campus.
money.
Money is like equities. I I like equities more than salary.
Got it, got it. So it was a great conversation with you, Nikhil.
Yeah, same here, Pranati.
Thank you so much for giving us knowledge about firmware and software engineer and
Yeah,
embedded systems.
yeah. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to interact with your uh, subscribers and all the other people.
It's our
I
pleasure.
Yeah, I request all the students who are watching, please subscribe to her. She's doing
Thank you.
she's doing a great job.
Thanks, Nikhil.
Yeah, thanks, Pranati.